Good morning. In fact, it's not morning, it's afternoon. So hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Laurie and I'm back on my allotment plot again today. So it's the first time I've been here for over a week, which is shameful. But it's been a combination of work, kids, weather, everything has kind of stopped me getting here. So I am making the most of a glorious day again in Edinburgh. Can you believe it? Blue skies, it's absolutely gorgeous, it really is. So I've got rhubarb to plant. I have got my potatoes and onions I'm going to try and get in, and various other things. So I'll take you with me. See you there. So here's the rhubarb that I have brought with me today, and I'm just checking on my potatoes here. If you saw my last video, you'll have seen that I've pulled these out the ground from the previous owner, but they're not chitting yet. And these are supermarket potatoes that were just growing arms and legs in my house, so I brought them down to the plot. But anyway, I might just chuck them in some pots and hope for the best. My rhubarb, I managed to break off a couple of stems in transit, so that's not so good. But anyway, this is where I'm thinking I'm going to plant it. So this is in the middle of my plot, and I cleared out that raised bed. There was strawberries in there, but I'm now thinking that I might put it on the left here. I can't decide. I don't know what I'm doing, but I think I will save that little bed for something else. So I've decided I'll pop it here. It's in full sun, in a good spot, so that's in the ground there, and yeah, that's it. So I just need to water it in now and let it settle, and I know that I can't pick off it for a year, so I'll look forward to rhubarb in 2 years' time. But anyway, it'll be well worth popping it in. So that was just from Home Base, £8 I think I paid for it in Home Base. So I'm thinking what I'm doing on the plot. I've come with no plans really today apart from popping that rhubarb in, but I did bring some onion sets with me, and this far end of my plot here has got random grass clumps and some random kind of volunteer plants that have taken root, and the soil is just really clumpy and quite clay. So I'm just taking out all the little bits of grass, just making it look a bit nicer and neater, and then I'll turn the soil over and hopefully get my onion sets in. I wasn't going to do anything with this end of the plot just now because the top end of the plot needs done, but I thought this is quite a nice, quick, easy job today. If you see all the grass that I've pulled out there, which will just go onto my compost heap. And that's how it's looking just now. I'm only doing half of it, enough to do onions and potatoes, and then I'll leave the other half, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. So back to my antique crazy cultivator that my previous plot holder kindly left me. This is my favourite tool. I can't tell you how wonderful it is. That's me done most of the plot now with it, so I'm down to this end section now, just going over the ground, and it is boiling hot. And then look, I've met another neighbour, a lovely lady who's just got the plot just behind me. So the plot holders are all wonderful. The lady behind me has been there for 45 years. This lady's been here for 20 years. Another lady's been there for 25, and I just think once you've got a plot there, nobody seems to want to leave. So I think that's why I've spent 14 years on the waiting list for this plot, because they're just fantastic. So anyway, back to my cultivating the ground here, and here's what it looks like after using that random scary looking tool. So I've put a bit of wood at the end there, so I know that's where I've stopped turning the soil over, and this section here is where I'm going to put my onion sets. So I picked them up this morning in Home Bargains, I think, B&M Home Stores I got them, and it's a pack of red onions and white onions, and there was 3 packs of I think I got 2 packs of potatoes and 1 packet of the onions for £5. So that was quite a good deal. And here's me showing you the white onions and the red onions. And I'm going to pop them in the ground. So just dipping the holes into the soil here so that I got them all nice and evenly spread. And then when they grow, they look like they're in a nice formation, because obviously how your plot looks matters. So I'm just dipping in the holes here. The ground is quite clay and we have a real problem with birds here. So I'm thinking I'm going to set, I know you should leave the top of the onion still out of the ground, but I'm just going to set mine just slightly under, just because I don't want the birds pulling them out. They've already attacked my green beans, so my broad beans actually. So yeah, so I want to make sure that these at least get a little kickstart before the birds notice that they're there. So this is me popping them in, right side up, so pointy bit to the top, rooted bit to the bottom, and as you see I'm just lightly covering them over so that the birds can't see them. So that's my white onions going in, so I'm doing 2 rows of white onions and 2 rows of red onions. Here we go. I should maybe have speeded this bit up, so anyway, apologies. So this is, also I popped this galvanised thing around my rhubarb as well, just to protect that, but because I was going to put a black pot over it just to force the rhubarb, but I didn't have anything on the site, so I'll bring that with me the next time. And that's the onions all watered in. So, and here's a view of my hut. Here is what the plot is looking like now that I've kind of gently turned over the soil, neatened it up, planted a few things out, so it is looking much better. Look at that blue sky for Scotland, it's just crazy. But these onion sets, I'm not sure if I recommend them for B&M home stores. Some of the onions were just so tiny, and look at the size of that, it's absolutely minuscule. And some of the red onions actually had mould and rot on them. So here's the potatoes that I bought as well. So Desiree potatoes, and I also bought Charlotte potatoes. So again, they're the B&M home stores, 3 for £5. So those ones will be going in the ground at the plot. The other ones will probably just go into pots. And this is the red onion set here. If you see what I mean, look, they've got mould on them and they're absolutely tiny. So there's no way, I don't think, any of those ones there would ever survive. So yeah, be careful if you are buying them and check them properly, because I obviously didn't check them properly. So my error. So here's my broad beans. Some of the leaves I've had to trim back today because the birds had attacked them, and I've put that covering over them just to protect them even further. So there's my rhubarb looking okay in there. It looks a wee bit floppy, but hopefully it will be fine. There's where my onions are, and there, that's the patch beyond that I still need to get in and remove the random grass. So I've cut myself some daffodils from my plot. I just think they'll be very cheery at home, so I am going to pop them in some water in the house. And how wonderful, I'm taking something home from the allotment already. So anyway, that's my day. I'm going to plant the potatoes on tomorrow, so I will see you then. And thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it. And until next time, bye.